If you go into any police academy today and you walk through the door, which I'm shocked when I see some of these kids that are 21, 22 years old that want to do this job in the face of what we've had to deal with as a community and in law enforcement for the last 2 years, and their retirement is not till 57. I'm shocked. I mean, I applaud them for wanting to do that, but none of them display the attributes that we've discussed here. So it's obviously learned, it's taught, it's developed over time. And I think we spend far too much of our money and our budget on training people to do things that they're not very likely to encounter. We don't deal with how to talk to people, how to de-escalate things enough. This de-escalation hot button topic that's been talked about it. Some of the best police officers I've seen learned that. I mean, my father was a cop for 33 years. He started in San Diego in '85. Some of the earliest lessons I know from him are being discussed now as these new things. And here he was doing it in the '80s. Such things like you have more tools on your belt than a ticket book and a gun and handcuffs. You've got access to resources that other people don't. Try to find a solution to the problem. Treat people, everybody you talk to, everybody you come in contact with, pleasantly and well, like they were your neighbor, they were your family. You don't have to. You get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. These are the things that I learned at a very young age, and he had a lot of success. I mean, the man worked traffic for 18 years and never had a complaint. I think that was something to talk about or to be celebrated. But that's that there the problem is the ship. We don't celebrate those things. What do we take track of? We look at the effectiveness of an officer is based on how many tickets did you write, how many arrests did you make, how many felons or guns did you get off the street this month. We don't look at the 90% of the work they did of how many crimes did you prevent, how many times did you de-escalate a situation, how many families did you reunite with their homeless loved ones, or how many domestic violence calls you go to where somebody didn't have to go to jail, you were able to resolve the situation and get them the help that they need. Those things aren't celebrated. We don't bring an officer in front of his peers and say, here's an attaboy for dealing with this family issue and getting people on the right track. That's not something that we look at. It's not a metric that we take into account when we talk about the effectiveness of what law enforcement officers are doing. I can count on a single hand the time I've ever had to even pull out a baton from my holder or from my holster, but I've had to use my mouth every single day to talk myself out of situations and to talk people off the ledge and to connect with people and try to find a solution to problems. We're just not good at that, and I think that goes back to how we hire, how we recruit, how we train. I think one of those quick solutions we could do is I think that we should raise the minimum hiring age of police officers to 25 or 26. You just don't have enough life experience. And when we talk about our hiring and the people that we're bringing in to be police officers, like one of the officers that just said, these kids don't have any life experience because they've been living at home with mom and dad because it's so expensive to live right now. And they look great on paper. They don't have any credit issues because they've never had to pay a bill. They don't have any neighbor disputes or conflicts because they've never lived on their own and had to deal with those problems. They don't have any issues at school with fighting and stuff like that because they've never been in a conflict that hasn't been resolved for them. So by allowing people to have more life experience and live on their own and decide, do I pay for groceries this week or do I got to pay for my car insurance? Those are difficult decisions that have to be made. And if we can give a little bit of leeway in our backgrounds to people who, when I look at new people who want to be in this job, I want to see a person who's gotten a ticket before. I want to see a person who maybe has had one or two negative interactions with law enforcement because they know what it's like. They know what it feels like. So anyways, those are kind of some of the things I think that we could do better